Arsenal star back in training with full focus. Ezri Konza joins first training. Arsenal supporters, there is fresh energy around the squad as preparations continue and the Gunners return to work with one clear objective: full focus, maximum intensity and a strong start to the new campaign. The latest training developments have given Arsenal fans plenty to talk about, with one of the club's stars back on the training ground and working with full focus alongside his teammates. But there is another major storyline catching everyone's attention. New Arsenal defender Ezri Konza has joined his new teammates for his first training session. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe to this channel so you never miss any Arsenal updates on this channel until the next. The arrival of the England international adds another experienced option to Mikel Arteta's defensive group, and his first session represents the beginning of a completely new chapter in his career. After completing his move from Aston Villa, Konsa is now getting his first opportunity to work directly with Arteta and his new teammates. The atmosphere around the squad is becoming increasingly exciting. Arsenal are not simply preparing for another season, they are preparing to compete for everything. Full focus at the training ground. The message from Arsenal's latest training session is simple: no distractions. Full focus. The players understand that preparation during this period can have a huge impact on what happens once competitive football begins. Every training session matters, every sprint matters, every tactical exercise matters, every decision with the ball matters, and every player knows that there is competition for places throughout the squad. That is exactly the environment Mikel Arteta wants. The Arsenal manager has built a culture where players are expected to work at maximum intensity, regardless of whether they are established stars, new signings, or young academy players. The return of an Arsenal star to training therefore represents another important step. Getting back onto the grass, getting involved with the team, getting the rhythm back, and preparing physically and mentally for the challenges ahead. Arsenal star returns with big determination. The returning Arsenal star has been back among the group with a clear objective: get fully ready. After time away from the training pitch, returning to team training is always an important moment. Players have to rebuild their sharpness, they need to regain their timing, they need to reconnect with teammates, and they have to reach the physical level required for Arteta's demanding system. That process starts on the training ground. Arsenal's coaching staff will be monitoring the player closely, making sure the return is managed properly while also building toward full match fitness. For the player, however, the message is obvious. There is no time to waste. The new season demands preparation. The squad is becoming stronger, competition is increasing, and everyone wants to be ready when the biggest matches arrive. Ezri Konza joins his first Arsenal training. Now comes the headline that Arsenal fans have been waiting for. Ezri Konza has joined his new Arsenal teammates for his first training session. This is a huge moment for the defender. For years, Konza has established himself as a highly respected Premier League defender with Aston Villa. Now he has a new challenge. Arsenal, the Emirates, Mikel Arteta, Champions League football, and the expectation of competing for major trophies. His first training session is the first real opportunity for him to understand exactly what Arteta demands from his defenders. It is also his chance to begin building relationships with his new teammates. Football is not only about individual quality. Defensive partnerships depend heavily on communication, understanding, and trust. Konsa will now begin learning the movements of Arsenal's defensive line, the positioning of the midfielders, and the instructions that Arteta expects everyone to follow. A new defensive option for Arteta. Konsa's arrival gives Arteta another important defensive option. The England international brings Premier League experience, physical strength, composure, and versatility. He can operate centrally and has also demonstrated the ability to provide cover in wider defensive positions. That flexibility could become extremely valuable during a long season. Arsenal will face a demanding schedule. There will be Premier League fixtures, European matches, domestic cup games, potentially several matches in a short period. Injuries and suspensions are inevitable. That means Arteta needs quality players throughout his squad. Konsa's arrival gives the manager another defender he can trust. And now the most important process begins: training, learning, adapting, competing. Konsa meets his new teammates. Imagine the atmosphere around the training ground. Konsa walks into the session wearing Arsenal colours for the first time. He meets players he has previously faced as opponents. He begins conversations with his new defensive teammates. He works with Arteta and the coaching staff. And he starts learning the Arsenal way. For the supporters, these moments might look simple, but for a new signing, they are extremely important. The first training session is where a player starts becoming part of the group. Konsa will now be learning the personalities around him and understanding how Arsenal operate behind the scenes. At the same time, his teammates will be learning his style. They will discover how he communicates, how he moves, how he defends, how he reacts under pressure, and that process will help create the understanding required for competitive football. Competition for places is about to get serious. One of the biggest effects of Konsa's arrival will be increased competition. Arsenal already have several talented defenders. Now there is another experienced player fighting for minutes. That is exactly what Arteta wants. No player should feel completely comfortable. Every position must be earned. Every training session becomes an opportunity. Every match becomes an opportunity. And when players compete against each other at a high level, the entire squad can improve. Konsa will therefore not be arriving expecting an automatic starting position. He will have to prove himself. He will have to understand Arteta's system, and he will have to demonstrate in training that he deserves to play. That competition can only benefit Arsenal. Konsa and the Arsenal defence. One of the most interesting questions will be how Arteta uses Konsa. Could he play alongside Arsenal's established centre-backs? Could he provide cover when injuries occur? Could he be used in a back four? Could Arteta use him in different defensive structures? Those decisions will come later. For now, Konsa's priority is adaptation. He needs to understand the system, he needs to learn the patterns, he needs to build chemistry, and he needs to get comfortable with the demands of playing for Arsenal. His first training session is therefore only the beginning. Physical preparation is key. Arteta's Arsenal demand a huge amount physically. The players must press, they must recover quickly, they must defend high, they must transition from defence to attack, and they must maintain concentration throughout matches. For a defender, that requires exceptional fitness. Konsa will therefore be working hard during training to ensure that he is ready for the intensity of competitive football. The coaching staff will be looking at his conditioning, speed, positioning, and ability to execute tactical instructions. Meanwhile, the Arsenal star returning to training will also be working toward peak fitness. This is what makes the current period so important. The squad is being built, the players are getting sharper, new relationships are developing, and the tactical identity is becoming clearer. Arteta has reasons to be pleased. For Mikel Arteta, seeing important players return to training while a new defender joins the group is a positive development. A manager needs options, he needs competition, he needs players who are hungry, and he needs everyone moving in the same direction. Konsa's arrival adds experience. The returning Arsenal star adds another quality option. And the rest of the squad continues working toward full readiness. That combination could become extremely important as Arsenal enter the next stage of the campaign. The new signing has a lot to prove. Although supporters are excited about Konsa, the defender himself knows there is work to do. Joining Arsenal brings enormous expectations. Every performance will be analysed, every mistake will be discussed, every good performance will be celebrated. But Konsa has experience dealing with pressure. He has played at the highest level of English football, he has represented England, and he has experienced European competition. Now he must demonstrate that he can perform at the level Arsenal expect. His first training session is the perfect place to begin. From Villa to the Emirates. Konsa's move represents a significant step in his career. At Aston Villa, he developed into an established Premier League defender. At Arsenal, the expectations become even higher. The objective is not simply to finish in a comfortable league position. The objective is to challenge for trophies. That means every player must understand the mentality required. Konsa will now be surrounded by players who share those ambitions. He will train every day in an environment where winning is the expectation. That could help take his game to another level. Arsenal's message: stay focused. While transfer headlines attract attention, the players themselves have to remain focused. Football does not stop because a new signing arrives. The squad still has to train, players still have to improve, tactics still have to be perfected, and fitness still has to reach the required level. That is why the latest training session is so important. Arsenal are moving from preparation toward competition. The players know that once the serious matches arrive, there will be no room for excuses. They have to be ready from the first whistle. Konsa's first impressions. For Arsenal fans, one of the biggest questions will be how Konsa looks during his first sessions. Does he immediately look comfortable? Does he communicate strongly? Does he adapt quickly to Arteta's tactical instructions? Does he show his defensive quality? Does he build an understanding with his teammates? Those are the details supporters will be watching closely. The first training session will not tell us everything, but it provides the first glimpse of what could be coming. And if Konsa settles quickly, Arsenal could have another extremely useful defensive option. A stronger squad. The bigger picture is what matters. Arsenal are trying to build a squad capable of competing throughout an entire season. That requires depth in every position. If one player is unavailable, another must be ready. If fixtures become congested, rotation becomes necessary. If a player loses form, another must be able to challenge for his place. Konsa helps Arsenal move toward that goal. His versatility and Premier League experience can give Arteta additional flexibility. And when combined with the return of important players to training, Arsenal are looking increasingly prepared for the challenges ahead. The Emirates will be waiting. Eventually, the training sessions will turn into competitive matches. The supporters will be back in the stadium, the atmosphere will rise, and new players like Konsa will experience what it means to represent Arsenal in front of thousands of passionate supporters. For now, however, the work continues behind closed doors. Training, tactical preparation, fitness, recovery, team chemistry. Every day brings the squad closer to being fully ready. And there you have it, Arsenal fans. Ezri Konza has now taken the next big step by joining his new teammates in training, while the returning Arsenal star is back with full focus and determination. The hard work has officially begun, and everyone will be watching closely to see how Konsa adapts to Mikel Arteta's system and how quickly he can make an impact in the Arsenal defence. If you're excited about Ezri Konza wearing the famous red and white, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss the latest Arsenal news, transfer updates, training reports and team developments. What do you think, Gunners? Will Ezri Konza become an important starter for Arsenal this season? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Stay tuned because more Arsenal news is coming. Come on, you Gunners!